things that they do not tell you when you start a business is that uncertainty is very, very constant. Uncertainty is one of the things that's always going to be there for you as an entrepreneur and as a nursepreneur, whether you are starting your very first business or if this is your third or fourth business, whether you're pivoting into something else, starting some new marketing, doing some new advertising, or even attempting to add another service to your business. Uncertainty is something that is very, very constant. So as an entrepreneur and as an entrepreneur who's aware, learn to realize that you should expect some degree of uncertainty. A lot of things change, markets change, there's unexpected challenges that can arise, notably, for example, the global pandemic that happened a few years ago. And adaptation is going to become very crucial in order for you to continue to be successful in your business. And I learned along the way from someone on social media that stated a CEO is just someone who is just in charge of their expectations, right? So you're aware that these things can happen and that changes oftentimes can be used as a strength for your business. I've experienced uncertainty so many times. I currently am experiencing uncertainty in my business. Just regards, honestly, to if I want to give as much consistent force, if I'm going to be honest. I have some personal goals along with some entrepreneurial and business goals. And sometimes I'm just honestly trying to find the balance in how to achieve it all. And so uncertainty in regards to how much effort you're going to give to the business, uncertainty with regards to who your clients are going to be, when they're going to show up, how much income you're going to generate. That might all be points of uncertainty for you. So learn to be adaptable and learn to understand that this feeling will not go away. So try to continue to persevere even when you feel uncertain in your business, even when you feel uncertainty. Learn to act despite the feelings that are there, because it is something that's constant and it's an ebb and flow. Another thing that they don't tell you when you're starting out a business is that you are going to be wearing many hats. In addition to the beautiful hat or the amazing hat of being the CEO and founder, there's going to be so many other hats that you're going to take on depending on whatever your business is. In my business, I am the CEO, the marketer. I was the secretary, the treasurer, the bookkeeper, like so many roles that you have to take on. And it's very important for you to learn how to manage those hats and then learn to set up systems. Along the way, I've learned from my many mentors, I would say, and people who I follow on social media who are reputable entrepreneurs as well, who state that in order to be successful, you really have to set up systems for your business, whether those systems be automated, such as an automated email response, such as an automated lead generation, such as an automated advertisement that is there. Most of you who are on Instagram can see the content that's really being rolled out now, where someone will give a call to action. For example, they say, if you want more information, comment the word more, or comment the word hello, or whatever word they give you as a call to action. And then as soon as you comment the word that they gave you, there is within less than 10 seconds an automated response that then goes to your direct message in Instagram and then sends you to whatever lead generation that they want you to go through, or whatever conversion tool that they have to gather your information and then get you on their email list. So learning to wear many hats is important, but also learning to have systems that are there to make your work more efficient. One of the things that I did in order to give more responsibility to other people and not wear so many hats is to get a virtual assistant. And we spoke about that a few weeks ago, but that has been very instrumental in helping me to take a lot of the things off of my plate that were honestly very important, but I was not making the time to to do. I wasn't prioritizing it. One of it being social media. I was not prioritizing being consistent with the uploads every single day on multiple social media platforms, or even to connect to new leads on LinkedIn and different mechanisms as such. So I have learned to delegate tasks to a virtual assistant in hopes that the efficacy of the business will be more strengthened, and that we'll be able to gain more traction and have more growth in the business. So learning that you do wear many hats, but you'll find that it's important for you to create systems and duplicate yourself and leverage yourself in order to have the flexibility that it's going to take for you to continue to grow the business and lead your employees. Here's number 3, guys. You may not realize it, but being a business owner is going to require long hours and sacrifices, right? And so in theory, we may realize that it requires long hours and sacrifices, but until you're really going through it, it may not resonate as true until you're actually going through it. So it's important for you to be prepared for long hours and personal sacrifices that is going to take to build a business. And it often requires a lot of significant effort in the beginning. How I think about my business is that it is similar to, for example, a bamboo tree. I've heard stories of how bamboo trees, they do not grow very much in the first few years of the growth cycle. So you may plant you may plant a bamboo like shoot or a bamboo sprout, right? And it will take years in order for it to start to show any kind of growth. Years. And then in the 5th year, then it shoots up and grows over 100 feet in a year. And I'm reminded of that story, and it brings me some comfort because I understand that putting in the work, toiling, being consistent, it is going to take a lot of work and sacrifice. Just as how for those of us on here who are moms, are mothers, and just for example, if you're into gardening or anything like that, you understand that you have to water the plant, you have to till the soil. And just like I made a reference to being a mom, the first few months, you may not see any kind of visible growth that's going on with your uterus. Your uterus is not expanding very large when you're first growing the baby in the first, trimester. But we all know in the last couple of weeks of pregnancy, your belly just shoots out and you look like a big air balloon, right? So in that same reference, it's a lot of energy being used and a lot of energy being divulged in something, and oftentimes we may not see the direct visual growth, but that doesn't mean that it's not growing. So I encourage you, despite the sacrifices, despite the long hours, continue to work and put it in for your business. And all of this is just a reminder to you all and myself, if I'm being honest, that the sacrifices will come, and they are sacrifices. There's many friends that I've spoken to and other entrepreneurs who have sacrificed times with their family, sacrificed picking up extra shifts to earn more money just in order for them to sow into their business. So it is real. Absolutely. Another thing that is hard for us to realize, but which is actually very true, is that failure is a part of the journey. Failure is a part of the journey of being an entrepreneur. And despite how much we try to prevent failure, it is actually quite inevitable. So I'm learning to let go of the control, and I'm learning to view setbacks as valuable lessons, and that they're very crucial for me in the long run. I'm not sure if this is just me, but oftentimes as being a nurse, we're often very calculated, obviously, with giving medications and making sure we're watching the patients and making sure that we are proactive in preventing any kind of sequelae that can happen in case something does go wrong. right? Our profession kind of breeds that kind of perfection. But to be honest, no matter how perfect we will still have failures in our business, and it's definitely a learning curve. Something that happened with me today in my business that I'm learning, and I learned very quickly from the experience, is that I need to excuse me, I need to always be in constant communication with the customer and with the client, and not only relying on the systems, on the metrics, on the automated responses that I get back from my business. So I had it where a member of the group had paid for her membership, but the automated system told me that her membership was canceled. And so I then gave some grace period, but then I what's the word? Discontinued access into the group because it is a paid membership. I'm so thankful that the entrepreneur, and this very self-aware entrepreneur, she reached out to me directly and stated, that she still would like to be a part of the group, and that it was kind of like an error in the recording system that said that she wanted to cancel right away. And so that just teaches me, don't rely on these computers. Create a relationship with your clients, create a relationship with the people you are doing business with. And it's not a transaction. It's not only a transactional relationship, because if that's the case, that is all that it will be, and we won't retain our clients. And so it was just very eye-opening. I reached out to her, apologized, I refunded her money, and then she still had access to the group for the remainder of the time. But that just shows you, it really needs to be a one-on-one conversation, one-on-one communication that you have with your clients, and not only just taking the computer's output of data. So that, to me, I felt was a learning experience that just really created an aha moment for me to really curate the customer experience for the client that I want. But if we're so focused on being right all the time, focused on never failing, it's just going to be more problematic and more of a mental fortitude for us to overcome. If we do that, it's important for us to understand that failure is a part of the process.
Recording in progress.
My apologies. Someone called and then Zoom kicks us off. Let me ensure that the recording is still going on. Thank you for your patience. It is still ongoing. So failure is a part of the journey, and just being more fluid with our understanding of what failure is and what failure means, and just embracing it. And trust me, it is something that we may have to work through, but it's going to be much more helpful for us if we view it that way. Here's another one that we may hear all the time, right? Loneliness. It is lonely at the top. How many times have you seen memes of that on social media, or quotes of that, oh, it's lonely at the top? Leadership can be isolating, right? And you may find it challenging to discuss certain issues with others in your circle of friends, in your circle of family, or even in your organization. If you are the leader, you are expected to lead. And so your employees are going to be looking at you a certain way. They're going to be having certain expectations of you for you to carry silent battles and not let it be known. And that's a part, again, of the sacrifice that you're going to have to make for your business as an entrepreneur, as the CEO, as the leader. You're going to have to make those sacrifices of having the privilege to just complain, or the privilege to say how you're feeling. You have to represent yourself. You have to represent the company. And so sometimes it may mean that you have to hold on and not show everything that you are feeling. So it can be lonely at the top, as they state, for many reasons. It may be that the people that you are friends with do not align with you in the business ventures that you're going on. Not only the business ventures, but I find a lot of times it's because of the self-awareness. It is because of the personal development that you are then required to do in order to grow your business and grow yourself, a lot of that personal development is going to shed off people who aren't doing the work on themselves, people who aren't managing their money, people who aren't reading books in order to enlighten themselves, people who aren't prioritizing their financial goals, people who aren't prioritizing themselves and their own personal goals in order to be successful. A lot of these principles tie hand in hand. It is going to be lonely at times. It doesn't mean that's the way it is forever. And as women, a lot of us on here are female. It doesn't mean that you won't have a partner that's going to be there to support you, but it does mean that the people who you think are going to come with you on the journey, they may not be there. I'm sure you guys may have examples of that of your own. I have examples of that as well, of people who all of a sudden they don't talk to me anymore, or things like that. And I really had to check my own ego and check myself and allow myself to grieve the loss of certain friendships, but also to realize that it is okay and that I'll be fine. So it can be lonely. Absolutely can be lonely. And just learning to detach yourself from certain expectations, for me, is what I'm working on, to detach yourself from the expectations that you have of other people, and then just be okay with how they express themselves as you are growing in your business, as you are growing in your own personal development. And that's why we create groups like this, for people who want to align together, to partner together, and go on this journey of entrepreneurship and reaching our goals. So I thank you for that. So another big thing, cash flow management is very, very crucial. Many of us may not have had money management or had a good relationship with money, but as we are entrepreneurs, we're understanding that it's very important for us to heal our own relationships with money, to heal how we manage our bank accounts. As a business, we are all aware that according to the IRS, the LLC is a different entity. It is their own person. So they require their own bank account. They require their own identification number, right? The EIN. They require so many things that separate us. And it's very important for us not to get in any legal or taxed issues with not having management of our finances. But cash flow management is definitely going to be a big determinant in how much profit we have in our business. And effective cash management is very important for sustaining our business. It doesn't equate on a one-to-one basis with regards to the amount of money that you bring in as to the amount of money that you're able to keep. And a lot of the strategies that I'm learning, or the personal development that I'm doing at the moment, is geared to financial literacy and learning how to manage our money. One of the key things that I plan to do in the businesses are to have a tax strategist. So I am going to get the book that I recommended for us to get, a couple of the books, in order for me to be of guidance to you all about what are the tax write-offs that, we qualify for in all our businesses. But not only having a CPA, but also having a tax strategist that can guide us along the way on how to legally decrease the amount of taxes that we pay in our business. Most of us run an LLC, a limited liability company or corporation. I think it's company, limited liability company. Most of us have an LLC as our business entity. Most of us, it's a better option for us to start out. However, we might get more tax breaks if we have an S corporation or a C corporation. And there's a lot of intricacies that go into having a C corporation. In particular, for example, a C corporation is if you're going to have stock options. So that would be if you had a company that you wanted to grow to the size of Apple or to the size of Pepsi. Whereas in S corporation, you get different tax breaks if you make over a certain amount of revenue per year. So with that being said, it's important for us to manage our cash effectively and be able to save on taxes, which honestly, as a business owner, secondary to your overhead for your products and your services, it is the next big thing that you will be disbursing money on is your taxes. So I plan on getting a tax strategist in order to navigate the rules of the IRS in order to meet compliance. A few more as we are closing up. Number 7 is that it is continuous learning, right? We are continuous learners as entrepreneurs. You're learning different skills that you can use to enhance your business. You're learning different things about your customer or your avatar client that's going to help you to be the best option for them when choosing the service or product that you provide. So it's continuously learning. There's so many things going on now with search engine optimization, which I haven't gotten around to learning all the intricacies about that. Or even with the advent of artificial intelligence, learning the different softwares that's available to us, learning even on the platforms that different members of the group, such as Midlane, send out to us on a continuous basis about, Harvard having classes on delegation or having classes on how to manage your money or different things about how to write a grant. It's so much continuous learning that you'll be doing as an entrepreneur. So it really is to your benefit if you learn to always be an avid learner and learn to navigate the landscape of your business and staying ahead of the trends. That is going to be very important. Just like how back in the day, this is what they say, how Netflix kind of kicked Blockbuster out of the whole media and movie dominance, right? They were continuously learning about the clients, continuously learning about new technology, and they were able to adapt and pivot. And so that is very important. Another thing to remember is that customer relationships are paramount. As I made mention, I learned about that today. Customer relationships are paramount. This is what we know fundamentally, but it is important for us to ingrain that into the vision, right, of our company, and understanding that building relationships with our customers. People don't buy products, they buy people. Yes, Jasmine, thank you so much. Absolutely. The customers are often more important than the products and services that we sell. And so, as I was stating about the member of our group, again, I just reached out to her, apologized, and refunded her money. I am quick to refund people. That's how I am with regards to, I rather to create an experience that the person will appreciate versus collecting whatever the cost was for the product or service that I provide. Now that is within reason. So for those of you who sell digital products and things like that, you may have your own refund policy, but always seek to blow the mind of your customers, right? They stay for the experience. And so people will always remember how you make them feel. I forget who said that quote, but it rings true, especially when you have a business. That goes hand in hand also with the customer reviews, which are important. So if you have a website, it's important for you to have customer reviews on there, and even your family members or friends to just go on and create customer reviews for you, because we all know the one person who is slighted, they are the ones who are ready to go on Yelp and go on Google and make a comment about your business or company. So it's important to mitigate those with having excellent customer relation. The last two things include legal and regulatory changes. It's important to navigate the legal and regulatory requirements that are required for your business and seeking professional advice when needed. One of the things that I plan to do moving forward in the latter part of the year, God willing, is to have a legal consultant just available for the company as we branch out and do. Anna Kay and I started a recent CPR company, so getting legal representation for that, or having someone, another message came through, excuse me, just having legal representation to go ahead and ensure that your contracts are in place, to ensure if you have any questions, to ensure that if something comes up, you have someone who you can call and who can give legal advice. Speaking of that, one of the things that started this year is the Corporate Transparency Act, which we have to give information about the beneficiaries of the company. For those companies that were started before 2024, it will be grandfathered in by the end of 2024 in order to have the beneficiary information documented by the government in order to ensure that there's not any kind of terrorism going on with the money. There's decreases the likelihood of money laundering, and the government just basically wants to know who owns all these LLCs that are being formed. So even things like that is really important for us to understand that is required for a business. Also, whatever state that you're in, you may require a biannual fee, right, in order to ensure that your business is still up and active. I think for Pennsylvania, I think it's actually diannual. So it's every 10 years, you just have to report to the state that you're still active. Now you still have to pay money every year, but you have to report to the state diannually, like every 10 years, that you're still a viable company and that you are still active in business. And different states are different. I think with Florida, when I was living in Florida, it's annually you have to report to them that your business is in check. I think their database was Sunbiz. So every state has their own regulations in order to ensure that you're still a viable company. One of the ways you can obviously do that is to pay taxes, showing that you are paying income taxes on the income you generate through your business. But the legal and regulatory changes will affect your business. And so it's important for you to be aware of them so you're not being fined and, again, losing money unnecessarily. Lastly, this is one key concept. The concept that our personal finances will definitely impact our business, right? Be prepared for your financial fluctuations to also affect your business. So if you are transitioning from being a full-time employee and going into entrepreneurship, be mindful that your personal finances will have an effect on your business. It can be a good amount of stress that then propels you to go out and get different contracts and be proactive in getting the money that you are used to getting from a stable income. But entrepreneurship is very ebb and flow, and there are peaks and valleys in the amount of money that you will generate, sometimes in the first couple of years. And then as you become more consistent, as you solidify your practices, as your business grows, then the money will start to become more stable. One more key point with that is that for those of us who are looking to get business funding, be aware that your personal finances will absolutely affect your ability to get business funding, whether it's from a credit card or a business line of credit, or those of them, or loans or business loans. Your personal credit will definitely have an effect on your ability to get business credit. So one of my mentors, his name is Mr. Herman Dulce. He teaches you different things you can do in order to clean up your personal credit. One of the main things he teaches is you can go on annualcreditreport.com and get your credit report from all three of the consumer reporting bureaus. Then you can also go to different sites, I think, such as Identity IQ. I think also, what's the other one? There are a couple other ones that you can check your credit, but it's important for you to see what's being reported about you. And there's so many things on there that he recommends to really clean up that's going to have an immediate effect on your credit report. This is all according to him and his research that he's done for nearly a decade. He encourages you to clean up your personal credit, right? Clean up the personal information about you. So on there, he recommends only to have one name and birth date. So no variation to your name. If it's Tanya Green, it is Tanya Green. It is not Tanya Green, comma blue. It's not Tanya Green, comma white. Tanya Green, right? No variations to the name. One birth date. And then one address, one mailable address. When I checked my credit report, it had like all the addresses that I've ever lived in, including once I became an adult. I think when I was in college, it went all the way back to my college addresses. And so that can have a lot of data attached to you. So a lot of the times, if those of us who are in for cleaning up our credit, or if you want to counteract something on your credit report, oftentimes it may come back as verified, and you're wondering, how do they verify this information? Because they have all these data points from which to attach the debt or the loan or the derogatory information to your profile. So if you clean it up, just have Tanya Green, have your birth date, and have the only deliverable address with where you can receive mail. If there's a debt associated with something that you had in college to an address you had in college, or if there's a debt associated with something 7 years ago to fall off, 5 years ago, you can then get those removed much easier because they're not able to verify your information from multiple data points. So I found that was very key. And then also your utilization on your credit cards, right? So if you have a personal credit card, I remember, I'm just going to be honest, I had a personal credit card of $7,000, and then I think the balance on it was like $6,800, right? I owed $6,800. So the utilization was almost 100%, right? You want to get that all the way down to less than 10%. This is what he recommends. And so for a lot of us, that may take a lot of work. But this is all to say your personal finances will affect your ability to grow and scale your business. So it's very important for you to take time to do the research. I have researched through my mentor and through the portal. I'm definitely willing to have additional classes to come and share the screen based on the information that he shares in the mentorship. So it's just very important for us to understand that although they are two separate entities, your personal finances will mitigate how you're able to use business credit and grow your business. With all that, these are the things that I have learned along the way that will affect your business and that I wasn't aware of before I started. Hopefully this provides some insight to you. If you'd like some more information on any of the points that I made, I'd love to converse with you, and we can perhaps do another group call about this. I will now have it open for questioning if anyone has any questions, but I thank you for coming on, and I just want to encourage everyone. I'm not sure what stage of the business that you are in. You may be facing challenges in different ways. I'm facing different challenges, but I'm encouraging us to hold on and to be persistent. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the company to be persistent. And when these things happen, most of us on here, I presume from our conversations, believe in Christ and believe in God. And so whenever we see these challenges happen, in spite of us putting in the work, making the sacrifices, doing what it takes, it just means we are that much closer to really having a breakthrough. So I encourage you, whatever you're going through this week, let's continue to be consistent and persistent and know that we are almost there with breaking through the barrier and getting to the goal that we're aiming for in this season. I thank you all for your time. And as I stated before, I'll open it now for questions. If anyone would like to input anything that they've learned along the way, I would love to hear. You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to do so. No?
Nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
What?
Excuse me, please say that again, Anna.
If I'm too late to add.
No, you're not too late. So Anna just started, Anna and I started a CPR business January 30th. It was my pre-birthday gift. So
Yes.
what are some things that you didn't realize? So it's been almost a month, perhaps 3 going on 4 weeks. What was the most surprising thing to you starting the business that you didn't realize before?
Well, I think with starting this business, even though we did do some research, there were some things that we were learning along the way, like how long it's going to take to get business credit, things like that, that you'd have to have, some consistency in your business for at least 6 months for that to even be a thought. And just, how slowly it can take to get your inventory together. It's just trying to communicate, from multiple ends.
Yeah.
And, communication, like they say communication is important in a relationship. I feel like communication in a business is even more so important. Yes.
Absolutely.
So, things. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that. I think I was driving, and for all transparency, Anna Kay and I are in a business together. We just started a partnership, but it's just like, wow, this is like literally you're legally married. It's like being married to someone. There's documents binding you like legally to this person. And there'll be times where Anna Kay is like super on top of it with like communication and getting things done. And then other times I'm not as super on it. And so, again, that's why it's really important when we were creating our operating agreement to make sure that we were very deliberate in stating like who does what and the expectations of each person. So it could be a metric whenever, I'm slacking off or she's slacking off or whomever you're in a partnership with. Is to just have very measurable like expectations of each person. So I found that to be important as well.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for your input.
You're welcome.
Jasmine, I see you on the call. I'm glad you were able to
Finally, I normally have to work and I was off tonight.
I'm so glad when I saw you came in and you commented. I was like, Jazz is here.
I'm here, and I did miss a good portion, but so I'm not sure if you said this one already, but remembering your why, I didn't realize how many times I would have to be like, nope, you got to remember why. You got to do this today. You got to be consistent. And also delegation, because, you want to do everything yourself in the beginning, you realize you're only one person.
Yeah.
So you probably said that already, though, but
yeah, just wearing the hats and being okay allowing someone else to help you, and obviously like vetting the people who are going to help you. But and you have multiple businesses, Jazz. You have a foundation. For those who are on here who may not be familiar with you, do you mind just telling us a little bit about your businesses, a little bit about Jazz?
So I have one documented. All the others are just hobbies.
That's right. It's a hobby until it got an LLC or something, right?
Right. But I have a nonprofit. I started a nonprofit in the honor of my child. My child is about to be 15. He has autism. He is non-speaking. He uses a communication device to speak. And I named the foundation the Maurice Rush Foundation because that is his name. And through this foundation, we help encourage and empower parents just like me, myself, other autism parents in the community here in PA where I live, but also throughout the United States and also in Africa, Mozambique, and Nigeria.
Wow.
So what that looks like, we do every Wednesday. We have a support group where anybody can join, regardless of where you are, where we are able to tackle on issues. We have guest speakers. We do community events. We have workshops where we're talking about autism inclusion and other giveaways. So we are started in 2018, and even with starting in 2018. It's still every year is different. We're learning new things. We're learning like the population, the community of autistic parents and children and teens and adults with autism is forever changing. Society's vantage point is always changing, so there's always something different. So yeah, that's what I do as far as my nonprofit. And then the other things I do, I make pudding jars, banana pudding jars, very addictive banana pudding jars. Over the holidays, it started out as a gift, and multiple people were just like, I need more. So I use that to just create joy around the holiday season. But eventually, it will turn into something different.
Yes.
My capacity is not here to do it full time. So, but yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
And I wrote 2 children's books. So.
She's a whole author, guys. Double author.
So thank you.
You're on pudding jar. That's right, Midlane. Absolutely. Yes. And so that's so good.
That's where I need to have the team and the kitchen. And
yeah. That is so interesting. So, okay, perfect. I'm just thinking of different things. I think Anna Kay and I were running for Nurses Week to have something in Philadelphia locally. So we're looking to just do a small networking event. No. Let me speak. Let me talk heavy. To do a major, like nursing themed event, especially for Nurses Week. Midlane reminded me that Nurses Week is in May. And so it's just really important, especially like around Mother's Day, but not only that, like Nurses Week. So I was just thinking at our event, maybe then you can host it and have your table and promote it there and those kinds of things. So I think networking is super key. But thank you so much for your story. And also, please send me the information that you have about the Rush Foundation, Maurice Rush Foundation, please. I have a student who she shared with me that her daughter is autistic, so I can share that so she can come in the group on Wednesdays. So that would be good information
Yep.
to share with her. Okay. Thank you, guys. Does anyone else have any input? I know Midlane has, like all the businesses, Midlane is so awesome. All of us are awesome. Midlane has just exponential business acumen as well. So let me know if you guys have anything else to share. If not, I really want to honor.
Just wanted to share one thing. Teachers Appreciation Week is also in May. It's actually the same week of Nurses Week.
Oh, thank you. So that's good.
Yes, it is. So maybe you could do the pudding month of May if you have this event. Have a table, sell it, raffle. Would be nice.
That's a great idea.
It's also Teachers Appreciation as well.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Right?
Can I see your faces?
Oh, girl, I am not camera ready.
Important, I guess.
Hold on. This is not on.
Hey, Michael Jr. Hi, guys.
Yeah, I'm in my nightgown. Next.
It's okay, no problem.
I have a question about the foundation. Do you do anything with Autism Speaks?
We used to do the walks every year. We did it for 13 years. Before I started the foundation, we did some. I even got a chance to speak on stage to everybody. But now we just do the Rush Foundation. And we do partner with CHOP, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, as well. So they'll make recommend referrals to us as well, and then they'll also come in on our webinars. And
All right.
so yeah,
Very cool. All right, thank you for that.
Awesome.
Autism Speaks. They have a lot of money that goes not directly to individuals with autism, so we kind of parted ways.
Oh, that's another.
Yeah. Because they're such a big company, so a lot of their stuff goes towards, like the marketing or like to the events that they do. But as far as research purposes, direct research, it's more like AJ Drexel Institute for Autism and the Eagles Autism campaigns that go directly to the research in individuals with autism. So that's one of the reasons why we kind of like parted and we no longer kind of go far. Species.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. This has been so great. I'm so grateful to all of you guys who entrust me to do this. And it's been a beautiful journey to walk alongside you guys as we all go towards our journey in entrepreneur and self-development. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for investing in the group and in the community, and many blessings and favor to you all. Have a good night.
Wait, one more thing.
Yes.
Because I get to see Anna Kay. I have your...
You got popcorn for me?
Your popcorn!
Oh, nice.
Thank you so much.
Just let me know where to send it because I have it.
Oh, that's
just like in Philadelphia.
Huh? Yeah, we sent it to Philadelphia.
But when do you go back to work, Jazz? Because Jazz works sometimes on 10 Center, Anna.
I'm not on Center in a while. I haven't picked up any time, but I'm right in Drexel Hill, so okay, I'm right here.
Well, what's up? Because this is a recorded line, you know.
Wow, this is a recorded line. But yeah, we'll talk.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Recording stopped.
Oh, wow. That was so awesome. That was really good. Oh, my gosh. When you feel like not doing something, that is when you totally should do it. This is a key to yourself. When you feel like you shouldn't do something, that's when you should totally do it.